coverage will begin shortly. Your live Weather Authority coverage starts right now.
Good morning, everybody. It is Saturday morning, right around 7:30. Hopefully you are just waking up and starting off your long weekend. Of course, you're probably hearing the wind roaring outside, the rain pouring down as well, especially if you're along the coastline. If you're inland, it's likely falling as heavy snow right now. And yeah, I'm here on a Saturday morning. That's how you know it's a pretty major event that we've got going on here across the state today. Again, all eyes on that historic high tide we are expecting right around noon today, expecting inundation in places that have never seen the ocean make it before. This is something that we have never seen along the coastline of Maine. We've never seen water levels as high as we are expecting them to get later on today. So again, thanks everybody for joining. Good morning to you. Hopefully your morning is starting off nice and quiet. Let's hope we can keep power outages at the very least today to a low level, because we certainly have enough issues with the coastline later on today. And you might be wondering, kind of dress casual this morning. I'm going to be out in the field in Mid-Coast Maine for our show that we're going to be having 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on CBS 13. I am not 100% sure about Fox 23, but I think it's definitely going to be on CBS. So if you are hoping that we're going to be covering this storm, well, we will be. Again, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. We're going to be live on CBS 13. I'll be over in Mid-Coast Maine, right along the water for high tide. Should get pretty wild. I'm honestly, I'm excited to see that. Also very worried to see what that surge and the high tide will do to the coastline as well. So again, we'll have team coverage. Got Asia Reed. She's going to be down in southern Maine. Mal's going to be in Portland, and I'm going to be over in the mid-coast tracking this storm. So again, I mentioned you're waking up this morning. You're probably hearing the winds roaring outside. 51 mile per hour wind gust just recorded in Portland. We've gusted as high as 53 miles per hour earlier this morning. So again, very strong winds out there. You're probably hearing them roaring early this morning, gusting up to 40 miles per hour in Sanford, Wiscasset, over towards Rockland. Rangeley actually had a gust to 55 miles per hour. So the mountains also seeing some very strong winds out there this morning. So I also want to know, are you seeing rain or are you seeing snow? On my drive into work here from downtown Portland to outer Washington Avenue, where our station is, I noticed snow was mixing in, or at least it was trying to. So, there is the rain snow line hanging pretty close to far southern Maine this morning. So here's a look at our radar. Snowing in Lewiston, snowing in Augusta, likely snowing out in the lakes region as well. And the snow is just beginning in the mountains, really going to pick up as we head through the morning. Thanks, Sarah. Sarah says it's just rain in Bath. Tina says that it's windy and just starting to spit snow up in Whitefield. Thank you for the report. No snow in Portland, and you won't get any snow in Portland. It's going to be all rain for today. Snow in Augusta. Thanks, Tiffany, for the report. Rain in Sopo. Yep, that's expected. Snow just started in Topsom. So again, that rain snow line not super far away from the coastline. In fact, I drew it here. It's running through about the gray area right now, through places like Windham, towards Raymond, out towards far northern York County as well. So if you're wondering where that is, it's going to be pushing to the north as we head through the day. Lots of rain and windy, snowing in Livermore. Thanks for the report, Monica. Should get a few inches there before all is said and done. Snow in Turner, snow in Oxford, rain and gray. Big flakes in Topsom. Yeah, it's a very wet snow that you are seeing out there this morning. A mix in Brunswick. Thanks for the report. It will likely continue to be a mix for a bit, and then it's going to be all rain. Snow in Casco, snow in Augusta. Yeah, if you guys are seeing snow right now, have you seen any accumulation? How much have you seen? If you could give me a rough guesstimate, that would be awesome, you guys. Rain in Saco, snowing in Mercer and in Bethel, in Rockwood, in Waterville, rain in Buxton, likely to stay rain there, although I wouldn't be shocked if some wet snow does mix in. Heavy wet snow in Casco, snow in Brownfield, heavy in Auburn, lots of snow coming down. Wow, thank you guys for all these reports. Spitting snow in Skowhegan and in Rumford, Monmouth, Auburn, Waterville, Harpswell, rain in Bath, snow in Naples, snow in Augustus and 6:30. Thanks for the nice timing there, Alicia. I appreciate that. Rain and wind in Kittery, half-inch in Brownfield, and snow in South Paris. So also a lot of snow falling inland. Again, it's mainly rain further inland. So let's talk about the high tide that we are expecting to see later on today. Again, a very significant event on the way as we head into this afternoon. Again, that's what we're mostly looking for here today. Coastal flooding with that historic high tide here at noon today. Again, winds have been very strong, gusting up to 50 miles per hour already this morning out of the east, coming right off the ocean. That's going to continue to push the water towards the coastline for that high tide at noon. We're at low tide right now, so you're probably not seeing anything too crazy in the ocean at this time. That will change here as we head through the morning. Thank you guys for all the reports. Just started in Mercer, dusting to an inch, Alicia says. Just wind in Machias. I'll get to our snow map coming up here in just a second. Snow in Randolph, mixed falling in Wiscasset, inch or so in South Bridgeton. Thank you guys so much for all these reports. Really appreciate that. Mountains, again, getting the most snow here. Again, like I said, you're probably hearing the wind roaring out there this morning. Wind advisory is in place from the mid-coast all the way through the New Hampshire seacoast. High wind warnings in the mid-coast over towards down east Maine. That's where the winds will be strongest today, up to 60 miles per hour. Again, could be a scattered outage or two. I'm not expecting anything too major. Yeah, snowing in Lewiston, hard in Turner, about a half inch in Raymond, 35 in large flakes. Notice those temperatures, 35 degrees. Rain is coming to you there in Noblesboro. So again, very windy out there for the coastline today. Less windy inland, but still going to be a breezy day. Winter weather advisory for Lewiston, Augusta, Bridgeton, up towards the mountains, the Oxford Hills, Paris, South Paris, through Rangeley, Carrabassett Valley. Again, the ski resorts heading into MLK weekend here with a good amount of snow. So a coastal flood warning. This is our big concern today. Up and down the coastline of Maine, expecting historic high tide levels as we head into the noon hour. About an inch in Auburn, coming down heavy right now. Looks pretty. Glad I'm not driving in it. Yeah, I'm a little sad that this is not a snowstorm for Portland, but it definitely made my drive into work not too terrible this morning. It was very rainy and windy, but not icy and slushy. No wind in Mercer as of yet. Hopefully we keep it that way, Keith. Allen, sideways snow, big flakes in Topsom. Just started dumping. Yeah, I'm interested to see how much you'll get there, Alan. Maybe a few inches before at least a couple inches before it changes to rain. Snowing hard in Livermore, a few inches there. Probably some rain, though, on the way for the afternoon. Rain in Bath, snowing hard in Topsom. Wait for wind is bad in Biddeford. Yeah, it certainly is. It is roaring out there. I can hear it right now on the roof of our station. All right. High tide today. That's right around noon. We're forecasting 14.3 feet. The all-time record, about 14.2 feet. We are forecasting to see a tide in Portland that we have never seen before. Can't even be understated how significant the coastal flooding is likely to be later on today. So again, 14.3 feet would smash the old record set in 1978 during the blizzard of 78. So here's what we are expecting here. High tide is around 12:05. It's already the highest of the month. Even if this storm wasn't here, it was a beautiful sunny day, this would already be a pretty high tide. Now we're going to see on top of that tide a storm surge of 3 to 3.5 feet. That brings up the forecast tide to 14.3 feet. And with 13 to 17 foot waves, we are expecting major coastal flooding and major damage as well. So yeah, again, pretty serious situation on the way here for the coastline as we head towards lunchtime. So yeah, really a significant event on the way here for the middle of the day. Again, the highest we've ever recorded in Portland, 14.17 feet in the blizzard of 1978. 112-year record, I think, the gauge in Portland. It's been going back to about 1913. And so in those 110 years or so, we've only seen one tide making it above 14 feet. Today, we're likely to see another tide making it above 14 feet, and we're likely to end up number one on this list by the time high tide is all said and done. So again, very serious situation setting up here for lunchtime later on today. Yeah, I saw that too, Justin. Justin's mentioning Martha Stewart's home out on Mount Desert Island. I think she lives in Seal Harbor, or her house is there. Yeah, I follow her on Instagram, and I saw the video. Really amazing to see Martha Stewart getting impacted by all of our storms that we've been having. Snowing in Lewiston, snowing in Bridgeton. Thanks, guys, for the reports. Rain and snow mix now in Brunswick just changed over. I'm assuming you mean back to rain, but if it did change over to snow, I also wouldn't be totally shocked there. Pray for all those wonderful souls who are out bearing another wicked storm today. Yeah, I've just seen so much video of rental cottages and boats and docks and wharfs and boats washed up, miles away from where they were from the Wednesday storm. So we certainly don't need another one. So yeah, we're hoping for the best today. Why is Mother Nature trying to kill us? I don't know, Aiden. This pattern has just been awful, though, for our coastline here. Rain in Windham, snowing in Auburn, snow in Whitefield, half-inch in Gardner, coming down hard. Thank you for the reports, you guys. Peter's saying it's snowing in Waterville, and it's snowing in Wiscasset now. Again, all of those places I just mentioned, a change to rain is expected later on this afternoon. Let's talk timing, you guys, as we head through the day. Again, that rain snow line pushing into the mountains here as we head into the afternoon hours. So the mountains are the only place that are going to keep snow later on today. The rest of us see rain and wind through the morning. By noon, things will be tapering off. But again, noon, this is our high tide when we're seeing the worst impacts. Even though the storm itself will be beginning to wrap up, high tide will still be moving on in. So we're going to see, again, expected major impacts. I still can't get over seeing the houses being washed in the ocean from Wednesday's storm. That was incredible. I had the same thought. It almost tears at your heart a little bit just to see our coastline just ripped apart like this, and another storm with a worse surge today. It's unbelievable, honestly. I feel like I'm just still mentally processing the last storm, and here we have another one impacting us today. Mixed in Booth Bay. What's going to happen in Buxton? Just rain so far, Mary Lee. Probably just going to be all rain, maybe some gusty winds through the morning. Shouldn't be too crazy for you there. So that's some good news. If you're away from the coastline and you're not seeing heavy snow this morning, not a crazy impact is expected today. So that's good news. Very much a coastal or mountains event in terms of the snow up there impacting travel. Snowing in Lewiston, rain, snowy mix in Durham, 1.5 inches in Brighton. Thank you so much for the report. Snowing in Rumford, still snowing hard and Dobson. Thanks for the report, Austin. Some flakes are quarter size. Yeah, big, fat, wet flakes out there this morning. It is where it is snowing, it's going to be coming down pretty hard. Noon is high tide. That's exactly right, Sage. Noon today, you guys can't be. And I would say within an hour on each side of noon. So 11 a.m. to about 1 p.m. That's when likely the worst of the conditions will be along the coastline. And again, roads that tend to flood. Route 1 in Scarborough, Pine Point Road in Scarborough, Marginal Way here in Portland, Shore Road out in Cape Elizabeth, all places that were impacted on Wednesday. They're going to see flooding again, and likely even worse flooding than what we saw on Wednesday. The good news is after that noon high tide, things calm down in a big way for the afternoon, even a peak of sunshine or two by the time the day is over. And then tomorrow, we do see a quieter day. However, Sunday could bring us some widespread snow showers throughout the day. Wouldn't be surprised if there's some quick coatings of snow, maybe even an inch or two in some spots as we head into tomorrow. Some of these snow showers tomorrow look pretty robust. So if you're hoping for snow at the coast, tomorrow might actually be a better chance for us, a good chance of seeing at least a good little burst of snow as we head into Sunday afternoon. After that, much quieter as we head through the afternoon. All right, you guys have been asking about snowfall. Of course, a lot of snow reports coming in. Cindy's telling me it's snowing hard in Oxford. Good 3 to 6 inches on the way there before that change over to a little rain as we head into this afternoon. Mixed sleet and snow in Brownfield. Mary, I bet you as the precipitation really picks up, you'll probably see a switch back to all snow. Tuesday's storm is another to watch. It's not looking all that significant at this time, Sage, so hopefully we get a break from storms, but if it is a bigger storm, it would be a snowstorm on Tuesday and probably wouldn't have major coastal impacts, so that would be good news. Let's hope it continues to look that way. Booth Bay Harbor, again, significant inundation at noon today, expecting damage there with the high tide later on at noon. Again, no water is going to get to places today that it has never gotten before, so a pretty significant event on the way here. Snowing hard in Augusta, 1 to 3 inches on the way for you there. Sounds like you're approaching an inch already in Augusta, so easily going to be in that 1 to 3 inch range before we do change over to rain. Where is Rumford on the map? Easily a 6 inches. I'd say you're right on the line between that 3 to 6 and 5 to 10, Dustin, up in Rumford. A half foot seems like a good bet, maybe even up to 8 or 9 inches, probably more in that 5 to 10 inch range for you there in Rumford. Heavy snow in Durham. Thank you so much for the report, Cody. Yeah, again, inch or so there in Durham before that change over to rain. Wind for Sanford, not expecting major winds, maybe gusts up to 40 miles per hour though. through the afternoon. So could be some scattered outages. I'm not expecting anything too wild there, though, in Sanford. And snowing in Waldoboro, Isabel says, thanks so much for the report. I'm about to go back through all of our graphics here one last time before we wrap things up. So if you missed something about the coastal flooding, the snow, we'll get to it coming up in just a second. But after today, I just want to focus on the fact that it's going to be much quieter for Sunday and MLK Monday, cold and sunny on Monday, but quiet for the rest of our long weekend. All right, let's go back all the way to the beginning here, and we'll talk about the radar and our current wind speeds that we are seeing across the state right now. Of course, seeing very heavy rain, very strong winds as well, some heavy snow if you're away from the coastline. How much rain expected in Lewiston? A half inch up to an inch. Not expecting major flooding. That's some good news. Other than the coastal flooding, snowing pretty decent in Paris. When will it switch over? Probably late morning, Ernie. I would say 10, 11 a.m. Expect that switch over. Maybe even a little earlier than that. That rain snow line is moving north quickly. I drew it there on the map. You can see it sort of working further towards the north. Winds are less than we thought. Not necessarily along the coastline. We've seen already the gusts we were expecting up to 55 miles per hour. Ash, inland areas are just not expected to get a lot of winds, and they never really were either. Been snowing in Andover since 3 a.m. Thanks for the report. Gusting 20 here at the Lewiston Auburn Airport. Thanks for the report, Alex. And we're snowing hard in Bodenham. Crystal is reporting. Will Mountain State all snow? Randall, it's mostly snow up there. That's where we're getting the highest totals. It will switch over to a little bit of rain, but not enough to really have a major impact or ruin the snowpack up there. So just a little bit of rain up in the mountains. Mostly, I'd say 90% snow, 10% rain from this system. Primarily rain in Brunswick, but very heavy with the wind. Yeah, it makes a lot of difference, especially driving. There were times when I was driving and the wind would hit your car and pull the steering wheel a little bit, and I have a more high-profile vehicle too, so definitely makes it more noticeable. Mix in Bath, wind expected to stay strong after lunchtime. Nicole, by lunchtime, winds will already be dying down a bit. So yes, they will continue to die down as we head into the afternoon and in Cumberland as well as the rest of the state. Just started snowing in Skowhegan. Thanks for the report. Yeah, heavy band of snow moving into the mountains. If you're in the mountains watching me right now and you're like, it's not snowing all that much right now, that's about to change. Some very heavy snowfall rates are moving up into the mountains. So again, going to be a significant storm through the day. High tide at noon. Let me get to the high tide graphics here because, of course, we've got to talk about that. Again, and if you haven't been watching earlier, I did mention 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on CBS 13. We are having a special Saturday show to cover this storm. I'm going to be live over in the Mid-Coast, probably Pemaquid Point, Bristol, Damariscotta area. So if you're in the area and you see me out there, say hi. But we'll, of course, be up and down the coastline covering you today for our extra show for this historic storm. How are we looking for totals in Bridgeton? 3 to 6 inches there for you, Brian. In Bridgeton, snow in New Gloucester. Thanks for the report, Michael. Again, changing over to rain probably pretty soon there. Coming down good in Gardner, snowing pretty good in Wayne, and in Waldoboro, high winds in Greenville. Yeah, the mountains getting a good amount of wind this morning. In fact, very gusty winds up to 50 miles per hour have been reported up in the mountains so far. Again, wind advisories are placed along the coastline, winter weather advisories further inland, coastal flood warnings, I should say, along the coastline. Again, we're expecting historic flooding and major damage along the coastline with that noon high tide. So again, likely to be quite significant, forecasting a level we've never seen before in Portland. So again, can't be understated how significant that is. Major flooding in places that have never seen it before here for that noon high tide later on today. Again, in Portland, we are expecting that high tide right around noon, a storm surge of 3 to 3.5 feet on top of the highest tide of the month. That's going to bring us the major coastal flooding that we are expecting. So again, 14.3 is the forecast today. The highest we've ever been, 14.17. So we are forecasting a brand new record high tide in Portland, highest in the past 113 years at the least, probably much longer than that. So very, very significant event on the way for noon today. All right, I've had a couple people asking me about when will the changeover begin. Richard, Gardner, you're in Gardner. I would say in the next 2 hours or so, you're probably going to quickly change over to rain there. By 9:30, notice that rain snow line on our storm tracker already north of Augusta. So you'll be rain, I would say, by 9:30 this morning. Buckfield, Oxford Hills, 31 degrees, moderate wet snow, 1.75 inches. Thanks for the very accurate report, Jake. Yeah, sounds about right for up there. A couple more inches on the way before some rain, not a ton of rain, a little bit of rain moves in this afternoon. Yeah, I will try to be my most careful, Lisa. I'm going to be very cautious with those huge waves. We've seen how they hurl rocks way up into the air onto the road. So definitely I'll be trying to keep a healthy distance from the ocean. So again, very heavy rain and strong winds. Yeah. Football fans, Buffalo, New York, getting a major lake effect snow event. Very strong winds, very cold temps there. That football game is going to be interesting later this weekend. I think it's on Sunday, probably. Not 100% sure. Shouldn't shovel in Augusta. Maybe just a quick swipe of the driveway, Lisa, because once it turns to rain, it'll turn to slush. But I will say it's going to be very mild this afternoon. Yeah, no need to shovel. It'll most likely completely melt away. However, it does turn cold tomorrow. So if there's still any slush on your driveway this afternoon or evening, probably a good idea to get it off. Hi from Fairfield. Good morning to you there in Fairfield. Again, tracking this out. Worst conditions this morning, things improving around noon, but that's when our high tide is, and that's when we're expecting the worst impacts. The storm itself begins to wrap up as we head into the afternoon. Thank you so much, William. Sunday at 1 p.m. in Buffalo. So yeah, expecting a major snowstorm for that game, potentially with very strong winds and very heavy snow. Should be a fun one to watch, unless it gets canceled or postponed or something like that. Hi, Sandy and Alfred. Hope you're having a good morning. We got rain in Topsom now. So I know some people have chimed in. I think it might have been you, Austin, saying it was snowing there. So it did change over to rain. Again, that rain snow line moving northwards pretty quickly. Better, or another chance at least, of some snow tomorrow. Scattered snow showers are expected through the day on our Sunday. All throughout the day, we could see some quick bursts of snow, maybe some quick coatings as well. When will wind end in Waterboro? After lunchtime, winds will really begin to die down. Even before lunchtime, they'll start to die down. But by later this afternoon in Waterboro, Diana, looks like the winds will be dying down. All right, I'm going to go back up to our radar one last time. Again, the main concern today is the historic flooding. Of course, though, a good amount of snow on the way to the mountains, 5 to 10 inches for most of the ski resorts, and lower amounts in the lower elevations, with some rain mixing in as we head later on today. So let's keep going back here to our radar. I want to show you where that rain and snow is. You can see the heavy snow falling still in places like Lewiston, Augusta. That changeover probably about an hour out in Lewiston and in Augusta. Hopefully enough snow in Greenville for snowmobiling. With the earlier this week storm with today, maybe so. There might be enough up there. You'll have to check for me, Pam, and let me know. Rain and windy in Westbrook. Yep, it's going to be all rain for us here at the coast. But again, the winds are strongest at the coast, gusting up to 47 right now in Portland. Very strong winds there. Rockland gusting to 44. We're gusting to 37 in Wiscasset, 26 in Augusta. Similar story there in Gorham. Worst winds are this morning, Cheryl. By mid to late morning, even 11 a.m. to noon or so, winds are going to be dying down. And then this afternoon, they really taper off. So by noon, you'll probably notice some big improvements to the wind. And by the afternoon, they should have tapered down a good bit. Snow started in Sydney. Good morning, Barbie. Hope you're having a good one. Around 7 a.m. Windy too. Yeah, winds are gusty away from the coast, just not enough to cause major issues. It looks like poor down east. I know they're expecting record flooding as well. Worse than Wednesday, and they were hit so hard. Someone mentioned Martha Stewart's house. If you guys are fans of Martha Stewart, of course, you know that she probably has a house out on Mount Desert Island. Her house had major damage, likely to see similar situations this weekend. So again, everybody, I'm going to start to wrap things up here. One last look at the radar before we go. Heaviest snow falling inland and towards the mountains. Snowing heavily in Turner, about 1.5 inches. Snow in Lisbon, snowing in Fairfield. So again, thanks for all the reports, you guys. We are going to continue to monitor this. 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. We are going to be live on CBS 13. I'm going to be over in Mid-Coast, Maine, right along the coast, tracking that high tide and the impacts as it comes in. So again, stay tuned. Tune into CBS 13 at 11. If you've got coastal property, get that protected, maybe even leave the coastline if you live right along the coast and you are going to be there for high tide. I would suggest maybe not being in your home, especially if it's right along the ocean. Snow coming down good in Carrabassett. Klein, I was waiting for you to chime in. Thanks for the report, Klein. Should be a good amount for you there. Thanks, Mike. I will try my best to be safe over in Mid-Coast, Maine. And of course, we'll be live for you at 11 a.m. To about 1 p.m. over in the mid-coast. So again, pretty significant event. By far, the biggest concern is the coastal flooding, but 5 to 10 inches of snow are on the way for the mountains. So I'm going to wrap things up here, you guys, for our Facebook Live. Again, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on CBS 13 is when we'll be live with a special Saturday show for you. So tune into that, and we'll keep you posted on damage, flooding reports, of course, on our social medias all through the day. So have a good day, everybody. Hopefully this storm is not a major one for you. I'm hoping we can mitigate impacts as much as we can along the coastline. Again, we'll keep you posted through the weekend. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.
This has been live interactive Weather Authority coverage from CBS 13 and Fox